biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
Hello, it's your girl Regina Sunshine with the Living Like a Boss Men show, where we discuss business, occupation, service, and significance, giving our men a place to have a barbershop conversation with a purpose. Hello, everyone. It's your girl Regina Sunshine here on our first Monday, Living Like a Boss Men show. Like I said, we're here every first Monday with me and normally 5 male co-hosts. But today is me and the ever so amazing Michael Supreme. If there had to be anybody, just me and him, this is the perfect pair to do it. How you doing,
man,
brother?
I appreciate it, man. I'm excited, man. Every day is a new day, and it's always something to be excited and passionate about, right?
Yes. Well, it's so funny. I was driving over here today, and I was having this thought, about all the things people are on social media complaining about. And the first thought I had was, I don't like conversations where people complain. I like solution-based conversations.
Definitely.
And I said, and the perfect person to talk to about solution-based conversations is Michael Supreme. And, I was thinking, and this is off topic, but it's on topic. A lot of people complaining about who has or hasn't done what in terms of the hurricane relief.
Definitely.
And I'm always looking for the people who are moving, who are actually doing something. Not people sitting around talking about it. The people like you who haven't said a word, you just started doing stuff.
Definitely.
Those are the type of people we need in our community.
Definitely.
Well, today's show, we've got supposed to be 4 amazing guests here with us, and I can't wait for you to meet them. Today's probably going to be a different kind of boss show. I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to have God have his way in here today. But I will say we have Mr. Alvin Thomas here with us. We have Mr. Willie Mason. We have Thomas Priester. And we have another guest, Bobby Brown, not the one y'all know. On the way here, on what I think is going to turn into a conversation about entrepreneurship. I think this was going to be. I think that's the common thread for the guests that are going to be here today.
That's exciting. Can I say a quick piece about that Hurricane Harvey play?
You sure can.
All right. And so what I'm really excited about what we did with that play was we actually connected 26 different organizations.
Yes.
26 different organizations throughout the city of Atlanta and also Aiken, South Carolina. And so what happened was a friend of mine by the name of Scotty, he has an organization called the Smart Foundation. Mm-hmm. And so he woke up last Sunday, and what he did was he just had an idea that he wanted to go and actively do something because all he was seeing was pray for Harvey. And so what he did, he made 5 phone calls to a few of his friends, one of my friends named Char Bates, who called me. And so when she called me, what we were able to do, we actually connected all 17 different YMCAs throughout the metro Atlanta area to this. And so all 17 different YMCAs are plugged in as locations that people can drop off. And so what's happening is on this Saturday, everybody's coming from those different 17 different YMCAs and all the different satellite activities that's been going on because we did Club Circus on, I believe it was Friday. Mm-hmm. We have Opera Wednesday that we're doing where the college kids are coming, and instead of getting in free just for posting a flyer on social media, what's happening at this point is in order to get in free, you have to actually bring an item to donate to what's going over there or going on in Harvey. Yeah. And so what we're doing right now on Saturday, we'll be coming together and we're looking for 100 men to help us load these 18-wheelers on Camilton Road and then help us get that thing down there to Houston. And so when we go to Houston, what we'll be doing is not just sending the 18-wheeler down there. We'll be going down there in a few in a few passenger vans as well. And when we go down there, we'll actually be connecting with people because one of the things that we found out is a lot of the, we can call them hoods, are not getting what they need. And a lot of the black communities are being overlooked. And so when we go down there, we're going to drop off what we need to drop off. But we're also going to take items strategically to different communities in Houston so we can really engage and make that thing happen. And so it's about taking action. It's like you said, it's not just about talking. It's about taking action and taking action now.
Again, if there's anybody you want to, connect with that's doing positive things in the community that actually is putting action and not just words to it, Michael Supreme is the man. And I know this for you even say you're the behind the scenes guy. You don't get out here and brag about what you do, but you are probably one of the hardest working men in this city in terms of making sure things are happening for other people. And so I'm honored to know you.
Man, I appreciate it.
I really am honored to know you. And I'm thankful that you take your time out on a first Monday to come here and assist us with drawing the men closer together.
Hey man, this is like the cornerstone for a lot of things God is doing right now. So it's a must.
Thank you. Well, we're going to make a couple of announcements. I'm going to make a couple, then I'll let you, because I know you got some
Okay.
other things
Got
that
it.
you want to mention. Let's see. This is off topic, but it's on topic, because I think Net knows. Net, since I've been in radio almost 4 years, do you remember the one interview that I have been trying to get for 4 years? That's exactly Molly Music. I get to meet
Wow.
Molly Music on
Wow.
Friday. I have been speaking this thing into
That's
existence.
amazing.
I'm so excited about this. So this Friday at Living Faith Tabernacle in Forest Park, Georgia, he's giving a concert with one other artist. I'm sorry, I don't even know who it is. That's how blinded I
Wow.
by the fact that I'm finally getting this
Right.
interview. So if you guys are in the area, if you are a fan of his, you know anything about his music and how he's really taking the gospel and crossed over
And that's
into
amazing.
a lane that
That's
reaches young
amazing.
people in a
Yeah.
major way, definitely get your young people out there. They'll be moved.
And where is it at again?
It's at Living Faith Tabernacle in Forest Park, Georgia. And so I'm going to be posting the flyer again.
Got it,
I've been
got
posting it. I'll share it again so that you guys can make sure to get young people over there. And I'm sorry, just ignore the screaming 45-year-old in the building, because it's going to be me.
Hey, man, that's good.
And then I want to mention as well, if you went to my birthday party or you heard about my birthday party, everybody kept talking about this guy, right, Net, that played the guitar that was over the top amazing. I have had people who weren't there who've come to me and said, who was the guy on the guitar? Because everybody's talking about him. Well, he has a feature this Saturday at the Apache Cafe. His name is JJ Day, and he's new to the city. He's only been here 2 months. I've known him for probably, 7, 8 years, someone I've always believed in. And he reached out to me. He said, Regina, if you could just get the word out. He said, I need to show the Apache that I can bring numbers.
That's
So JJ Day, along with 2 other amazing artists, Chavis Flag and Desmond Champion, who Desmond is another favorite of mine.
We need to get Chavis Flag on this show.
On the
Like
show?
he actually, one of the girls, Brother Baldwin, his daughters, Marcia.
Yes.
Marcia did. We call her Mako. Mako started doing backyard open mics, right? And
Yeah.
so last month she did her first backyard open mic, and Chavis came out, a professional
I had
open
no
micer,
idea that
and he
she was
just
doing that.
blew it. Like the first Friday of every month.
Well, see, he's the there, and she just put up the flyer. He's the only one that I wasn't familiar with. But JJ called me. He said, no. He said me and the other. He said, this is gonna be 3 dope performances at the Apache.
Yeah, Chavis is a game changer.
And so it's called Soulful Saturdays. So if you just want to go hear some great live music, all 3 are guitarists, which is going to be interesting as
Right.
well. It's going to be at the Apache this Saturday night, starting at 9 o'clock. I will be there because, I'm just such a big fan of JJ Day and Desmond. So I guess I'm going to be a new fan
That's Chavis.
of Chavis. So that sounds good. Support our young people that are doing positive music. These are people who are out here singing about love and life and community and not about all the other crazy stuff. Support them. If you say we want positive media and positive music, when they put on performances, show up for them.
Oh yeah.
So that they have an opportunity to get in venues like the Apache because they can fill up the place.
Definitely show it with your cell phone ready.
Yes.
Get your Instagram, Snapchat, all that going. Because at the end of the day, if the media isn't going to shine light on the positive things that people are doing as a whole, we have to become our own media.
That's exactly right. So those are my 2 major announcements. And then there was another one. Oh, I want to read this. You remember at the Capitol, we did the Young Boss Show.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the guys that was one of our young bosses, his name is Elias Retta. And he came and he co-hosted with me for a month as a part of his gift. He sent this letter to me, and it was a thank you not only to me, but everybody. So I wanted to read it. And it says, Dear Miss Regina, first of all, he's 16. When I say he's one of the most amazing 16-year-old young men I've ever met. Just brilliant and kind and loving.
That's
And so, all
That's
that good
awesome.
stuff. Dear Miss Regina, first of all, I want to apologize from the bottom of my heart for not getting this message to you all sooner, which is not necessary. I want to thank you for making my summer one to remember. You gave me so many opportunities that I could not have expected or imagined. I enjoyed being featured as a young boss on your show and was able to learn so much as your co-host for your radio show. I always wondered what it would be like to host a radio show, and now I saw that I had the experience. Thanks to you. You have such a radiant glow and an energy kind of like the sun, is what he said, that suits you so well, and it's part of what's making things work on your show. I pray that God continues to flow blessings through you as he did for me through you. Thank you so much, Miss Regina. And please extend my gratitude to Jack Trey as well for producing all the shows and making it possible for me to have this opportunity. Love, Elias Retta.
That's awesome.
Isn't that beautiful?
Man. That's awesome.
So, Elias, we love you. Still in high school, still doing amazing things. Writer, singer, dancer.
Man,
Just
if Elias is watching, like my thing is just, bro, stay that humble, you know? Stay that humble, regardless of whatever's going on in your life, regardless of what level you get to of success. Stay that humble where you're able to reach back to those people that helped you immediately. You know, not like 5, 10, 15 years down the line and be like, I remember you did this for me. I appreciate it. But as you go throughout your process, understand that there's no self-made man and no self-made individual. People holler about being self-made all the time. But everybody runs into a place where they need somebody or somebody help them. So stay as humble as you can, brother, and keep pushing. Definitely.
Yes. You know, I had him, he co-hosted one of our Black Female Excellence shows, had about 7 or 8 women here. And every one of them was like, you know, I wish she could meet my daughter. He was, you know what I'm saying? That's like the highest compliment, right?
Right. Wow.
So, and shout out to him and his parents, because I always say, you know, the kids just don't turn out like that. You have amazing people around them who are pouring into him. So shout out to his parents for, number one, bringing him into opportunities like that and being that support system to help him shine.
Yeah.
All right, and so I'm going to let you make your announcement, and then we're going to take a break and get our first guest.
Outside of what I said earlier that I'm going to stress again, we need 100 men at the Andrew and Walter Young YMCA on this Saturday so that we can load these 18-wheelers and get them down to Houston. Definitely plug in. That's 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. We have a huge play that we're doing after that in October, in which we'll be connecting with a brother by the name of Christopher Emmanuel.
Who was on our show last month.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
Yeah. He has an organization called the Sky's the Limit Foundation. And so we'll be doing here, including the People of the World Holding Hands, which is his brother's organization, Brother George. We'll be doing a men's conference here, and a small men's conference. And what we'll be focusing on is making sure that all the fathers understand the rights that they have when it comes to being fathers, right? And understanding exactly what it means when, even though you put your name on a birth certificate and that says you're the father, if you don't do specific things, the law doesn't legally accept you as being a father. And so when he was here and I met him, the brother's energy was amazing, right? Amazing. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like I'm a new dad. I'll be a full-fledged dad in October, right? And I'm like, I'm not dealing with the issues that other people deal with because my girl and I have a nice communication pattern, right? But after meeting him, like every week, it was probably about 3 or 4 brothers that just came to me and started talking to me and just started talking about the issues they were having with their baby's mother or whatever it is. And every time I talk to somebody about having his daughter on the way, the first thing the guys say is like, listen, even if you don't love her, marry her. I'm like, why is this the common thread throughout everything, right? It has to be something. But watching grown men like about to cry because of things that are going on with them and them not being able to access their kids and them not even knowing the things that Chris has, the wealth of information that Chris has. And so we'll be doing that on a once-a-month piece, and we're plugging the B.O.S. network into it. We're plugging the B.O.S. network into it so the brothers that's a part of this can get plugged in, and then also people that have information that they need, that they feel like need to get to the men and to the fathers as well, they can plug in for that, and we can make this thing happen together.
Yes. Well, you know, if you didn't hear Christopher's testimony, he actually, he and his ex had, she was expecting a baby. He had a health situation, aneurysm in the hospital, and she ended up giving the baby away, or he's selling her into adoption without his permission, and he had to fight to get his daughter back.
And the thing about when they sold her into adoption, they actually sold her into a sex slavery, right? Like it's a newborn baby being sold into adoption is actually being sold into a sex slavery, and he wasn't able to do anything to get her because he didn't fill out specific information to say that he was the biological father. But when he filled out that information and he took the strategic steps to make sure that he was taken care of by law, now he has his daughter, and he's on a fight like for the rest of his life to make sure that fathers understand what they need to understand so that they can move forward and have rights, take advantage of the rights that they have as well.
Absolutely. And so, like he said, the B.O.S. Men, the B.O.S. Network is going to be plugging in with Michael Supreme and Sky's the Limit. And Sky was here. His daughter was here with him last time, which was amazing to see. The product of this whole fight. But we're going to be plugging in with them. So if you are a past B.O.S. guy, you just a man, period, and you have a way for them to connect yet via email or anything?
I would say for right now, just look up Brother Christopher Emmanuel on Instagram. Sky's the Limit Foundation. And if you don't have an Instagram, look him up. Just email him. Right, it's Sky's the Limit Foundation at yahoo.com. Sky's the Limit Foundation at yahoo.com. And he'll be able to give you all the information about anything you need right now, even before we start taking action on that conference.
Awesome. And if you don't know, Michael is our boss ambassador. He is boss in the community. We brought him on for that very specific reason, to be the bridge between what we do here and what's going on in the community. So when he's been talking to me for a while, we needed a project, something specifically we could plug the Bossman into. And when he called me, when we talked this past, was it the weekend, right before the weekend, I was like, this is it.
Right.
This is it.
Right.
This is the perfect move for our men, because like you said, a lot of men, even if they aren't dealing with that specific issues, when you start talking about you guys doing this on a monthly basis and addressing fatherhood across the board, everybody can benefit from it.
Oh, yeah.
So it's going to be an amazing thing.
It's already amazing.
Yes.
It's already amazing.
Well, we like to talk about something we're thankful for before we go to the break, and then I have a show dedication as well. So I'll let you say what you're thankful for, and then I will dedicate the show today.
Okay, man. Well, I'm thankful for unity, right? I'm thankful for unity because the more that I move forward and God allows me to do the things that he wants me to do in this world, I'm realizing that I'm not able to do anything by myself. And like I've known that for a while, but when you just look at the magnitude of what's going on right now in the city of Atlanta for Houston, and all of the people that are coming together off an idea, and people are uniting for a greater cause, it's like, wow, like that unity thing is for real, for real. Yeah. And once we make a decision as a body of people, not a race of people or a nation of people, but a body of people, to unite and it not just be a natural disaster that makes us get on the same page to move forward and do things together, but we start policing our communities. Like we come together and connect. And that's the other thing, I didn't mention this in the announcements. The last Saturday of this month, which is the 30th, at the Andrew and Walter Young YMCA, we're going to do a non-denominational corporate prayer breakfast. And what we're going to be doing is non-denominational corporate prayer breakfast. Is we're going to be praying for the connection of the communities and the rebuilding of the next generation. And then after that, it's not just about prayer. The theme is faith and works, right? Because at the end of the day, in the Bible, it says faith without works is dead. And so when we get there, we're going to eat, we're going to pray, we're going to fellowship, but then we're going to break out into small groups and strategically start taking action, planning to move forward and execute on specific projects in specific areas to make sure that we're continuing to rebuild our community, empower the youth, and make sure that we're taking ownership of what we need to take ownership of. Because at the end of the day, it's not about, like I was, and I'm going.
Go ahead, brother.
I'm like, I just before I walked in, like we're looking to get this money together so that we can get this bus, so we can get this 18-wheel on the road, and we can get all these vans to get everybody down to Houston. And so I got people that are strategically in place doing different things. And I'm on the phone with one of the girls that's on the logistical side. And she's like, well, I need to know how many people's going. I need to know, like, what the budget is. I'm like, listen, man, like in this world, you need to know the budget. In this world, you need to know how many people are going. But in God's world, none of that matters. Like, y'all worrying about drawing up sponsorship agreements and sponsorship letters and all this and the third. But check this out. Through the power of unity, if it costs $2,000 and 20 people want to go, if you really want to go, find $100. And when you think about it, when it comes to the awareness of the thing, I could say, hey, Regina, if the price was $2,000, I could say, Regina, I need $2,000 so that we can go down to Houston and we can connect with the people there and get these goods off the ground. And the only person that knows about it is you and the people that are going with me. But if 20 people get together and 20 people have to find $100, and they went to 10 people and just asked for $10 a piece, all of a sudden that's 200 people that know about what's going on, that's spreading the word, that's connecting. And so it's like, I'm all about eliminating big business plays and corporate plays and all that in the third, and just utilizing the power of unity to move forward. Because when you unite, like, the strength is not in the dollar. The power is in the numbers of people. Like, when I found out when I was younger, not younger, like, shoot, I'm young. Like, a few months ago when I was talking to my uncle and we were talking about political things, he's like, bro, did you know that if you wanted to sit down and talk to the president, all you got to do is get 400,000 signatures on a petition, and they have to sit down with you regardless of who you are? I was like, are you serious? I looked it up, and it was for real. And so it's like, okay, cool. So if I have $400,000, I can't go to the president and say, here's $400,000. I want to sit down and talk to you. But if I get 400,000 people to connect, you have to stop what you're doing and figure out whatever my concern is. You have to address it. It's like when we talk about the homeless issues that are going on here in Atlanta, like they didn't just shut down the Atlanta task force the way everybody's saying it, but it's under new ownership now, the task force. And what happened at that task force is they're cleaning it up. And the only way that you can get into that task force to have shelter if you're homeless in the city of Atlanta is if you go and take 2 tests before you go in there, a HIV test and a tuberculosis test. majority of the people that's in that community down there that's homeless have HIV and tuberculosis. So it's like, where are they going to go? What's going to happen with them? Somebody on the team said, what we need to do, like that old dome we got in Atlanta, what we need to do is we need to go talk to some people, and we need to go ahead and let them know that this is what we want to do. We need to make this a housing place for the homeless and start to restore that situation from there. And I'm like, brother, listen, like you and I can go to the dome and talk to the people at the dome, and it's more staff in the dome, in the old dome, than us walking to that door. They'll listen and they'll be like, okay, cool, keep it pushing. Imagine 100,000 people going to that old dome and saying, this is what we want. You tell us no, then it's like, okay, cool, $10, $100, $1,000, everybody, we buying this dome. And we're going to make sure that whatever we need to do, we're going to do it to make sure that our community is taken care of and our community is better. The power is not in the numbers. The power is in the number. The power is not in the dollars. The power is in the number of people that unite to move forward. So I'm thankful for getting a crystal clear understanding of what unity looks like, you know, and what it feels like to move forward as one body, like as the Bible says, one body, like we're one body. Like all of us are just different little itty bitty cells within the body of Christ. And so once we all unite on in that mindset, because it's just like this, like people throughout the nation are uniting without even knowing each other and without even connecting with each other, but they're uniting for a greater cause, which is helping the people in another city, right? But what if we did that on an everyday basis? What if we sat down in our communities, and it's almost like what Farrakhan was talking about when they did the reunion of the Million Man March. It's like, look, we got 1 million coming, we got 1 million plus coming, we got millions of people watching. All I need is 10,000. All I want is 10,000 men and 10,000 women that want to move forward and police these communities and help us rebuild this thing the way it needs to be rebuilt. Like, it's about unity, coming together, one common goal, moving forward and getting it done. So I'm thankful for that.
Y'all see why I love him? Yeah. It's so interesting that you shared that, because what I am thankful for today is knowing men like you and people who support the B.O.S. vision. And that leads to my show dedication. And I'm going to cry, so y'all just get over it. Today, a gentleman that has loved me since I was a child is being laid to rest. I did not attend the service because I don't attend funerals unless I absolutely have to. That's just me. All right, that's my personal decision. I have to protect my mental health. Does that make sense? And his son really wanted me there to speak on his behalf, so I'm going to do what I would have said there now. To Mr. William Pitts, who was a giant of a man and who loved everybody he came into contact with. You remind me of him. When he moved to my hometown, the neighborhood that I lived in, because, I mean, predominantly black neighborhood, poor neighborhood, we didn't have buses that came to our area. So kids from our area had to walk a really long way to get to school. And so he took his personal van and he would come to our neighborhood and he would load everybody he could up in his van every day and take us to school. And then he would go back at the end of the day and he would bring us home. And he did that, and he began to petition the school board until he got them to bring buses to our neighborhood. That's the kind of man he was. And before I ever had a thought in my heart about this B.O.S. organization, he prophesied to me that I would do this. He said, the way you minister to women, because I had a women's empowerment organization. We were doing things with women. He said, you're going to have an organization, you're going to minister to men the same way. And I said, that's okay, Pastor Pitts. That sounds good. A man should do it. I didn't receive it when he gave it to me. So as it began to manifest in my life, and every time I would talk to him, he would smile. He'd be like, you working with men yet? I'd be like, no, that's not for me. That's not somebody else's work. But he saw the vision long before I did. And so to him, for not only loving me, but for loving everybody he came into contact with, and by showing his love through his actions towards us, we salute you and we thank you and we rejoice in your well done.
Oh, definitely.
That's it. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with our first guest.
Already.
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
Hello, it's your girl, Regina Sunshine Robinson, coming here today to talk to you about my new book, Regina Sunshine State of Mind, 7 Keys to Help You Get Your Mind Right. If you've been looking for that tool to help you in getting a positive mental attitude and not only getting it, but maintaining it, this is the book for you. You can find it on my website, reginasunshine.com, or you can also find it at amazon.com. Hello, it's your girl Regina Sunshine with the Living Like a Boss Men show, where we discuss business, occupation, service, and significance, giving our men a place to have a barbershop conversation with a purpose.
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
All right, you guys, you're back live on the air with Regina Sunshine and Michael Supreme here on our September Living Like a Boss show. And we have our very first guest of the day. Welcome to the show, Mr. Willie Mason.
Thank y'all so much for being here.
And I met you at Evan Jefferson's book release event, and I took your barbecue sauce home. See, I'm talking about what even let you tell them what it is. I took it home, and I ate it on chicken, and I put it on a salad. You name it, I put it on everything. For real. So I'll give you a chance to tell our audience who you are and a little bit about your business.
Well, my name is Willie Mason. We moved here, been there for like 4 years. We come from Virginia. My wife's job, cause she worked for the government. Now she works for the federal government. I was sell food. I was to walk and sell food, and people just laugh, cause I was walking in the rain and sell plates. Then, so a couple months later, then I got a scooter. God bless me with a scooter. Then I had my neighbor down the street. He built me a basket on the rack and had a cooler about that tall. I started living food on the scooter. And I was going to dealerships. And y'all like, man, what you got now? I said, I sell food. And they was like laughing. I'm like, yeah, that's what I do. I mean, and so after I done it for a while, then I got a truck. Then I had some problem with someone that I thought was a friend. Then got rid of that, so I got another truck. And the sauce, I just started just making it. You know, I get in the kitchen. First, I pray. Because I have a big mixer like that. And I got a big bowl. And before I put any ingredients in there, I pray. And then once I do that, I started making my sauce. And, you know, I was doing it. And, you know, not to, like, get into it. That's get in the kitchen. What I call my kitchen the lab. Again, you know, I just have fun. When I really got into it, when I started getting the response from people about it, because like when I did the cherry barbecue sauce and the brown sugar bacon barbecue sauce, when I just did it and it just took off and people just started liking it, I'm like, man, I said, okay, I'm coming out with spicy and pepper sweet, so I'm started working on that. So when I started on this right here, I did not know this right here. I did not know that this was gonna move, cause I didn't have no intention that it was. Cause I was gonna start making it last month. So on Obey season, we got a barbecue sauce like that. But by the people started liking this, I just started doing it. And been in Kentucky, Virginia. We done left from Raleigh. I sent some to Anchorage, Alaska. Got sent some to Baltimore, Chicago. I got sent some to Indiana. I got sent some to Virginia. Right now, you know, we don't certain things what we got to get done. We're working on that, but certain levels and financial stuff we got to get straight. I just put everything in God's hands. That's what I do. Everybody loves this sauce. I mean, you can put it on anything.
You really can put it. You ain't lying.
I mean, I don't care. You can get this sauce, not being disrespectful. You can get this sauce right here, and you can pour it all over your wife.
Wow.
Wow. With this sauce, and you pour the sauce on your wife too. Trust me, she would tell you stay at home, and she would go work and give you the paycheck. Wow, that's how good this sauce is.
Well, tell us the name of the sauce.
The name of the sauce is it's spicy lemon pepper sweet, Miss T's Deep South style barbecue, and we have the ingredients on there. We got lemon pepper, cayenne pepper, light brown sugar, and white vinegar. The reason why I use vinegar in everything we do, vinegar preserve everything. Vinegar cures everything. You go to my Facebook page, you will see, if you see the way that we clean our meats, like let's say you go to Kroger's, what you gonna do? You can buy some chicken and do what? Rinse it off, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Just rinse it off and flour it.
Right.
Put it in hot grease.
And be done.
And be done with it. Okay. All right. People always say 280 degrees kills everything, right?
Right.
No, it do not. It do not kill everything. You go on my Facebook page, you will see the water. The water that's as black as this. Blacker than this. Because I use vinegar. I use steel vinegar. I use white vinegar. And we preserve our meat. We put it in vinegar, stay there for 4 days.
Wow.
4 days in vinegar. Then I take it out, rewash again, I can just vinegar by itself. Then I season it, put it in the refrigerator. Our meat stays in the refrigerator for maybe about 4 to 5 days.
Wow.
Then we do ourselves like a 2 weeks process. The next following week, I get Black Beauty started up, that's a smoker, then I start smoking.
Black
Beauty.
Black Beauty.
Yeah, Black Beauty, yeah, Black Beauty. She is from here to a little bit over there, and I got it well on the trailer.
That's awesome.
And and when I do this stuff, I tell people, when I'm cleaning meat, I explain to them, this is the best way you do your meat. Like I say, all these places, Purdue, Tyson, and all these chicken places, and all these restaurants. Now, prime example, I went to churches, the one on Thornton Road. Yes, I'm gonna speak about it. It been a while back, so get something to eat, me and my wife. So I was talking to a guy. He had I think he had like a '76 Beard Skylark. So we was talking. So I seen the guy go in the freezer, get the bag of chicken out. Bag had blood in it. He had a bin on top of the trash can, and he just cut the bin open and dumped the chicken in there and put the flour on it. I'm like, And what I did, I took a picture of it. And they didn't have no gloves on. I'm like, and I'm like, nah, and that, it's not that I'm saying that the way we do our food is better than anybody else, but I like to do our stuff, that I know it's gonna be right, it's gonna be clean, and by using vinegar cleans your body. You can go on, you can Google it, whatever, and it will tell you how good vinegar is. The vinegar that we use. The vinegar that we use, you can clean your house. You can do anything with this vinegar. That's how strong this vinegar is. And I don't like the people that's something to go buy meats, roast pork butts, ribs, and just rinse it off. No, that's setting vinegar. You put in that vinegar, and if you see, like now, like the chicken that they put on there, the chicken is not shot up. The meats and stuff is not shot. That stuff is shot up. They shot up. Now we let it stay in that vinegar for like 4 days. You will see all the bacteria.
Wow.
All the stuff that the meat was shot up. All the germ. I mean, if I can get on my Facebook and show you and show everybody in the world, I mean, you would like, wow. I'm saying actually on eating this.
Wow. We're thinking we're going to have a conversation about his barbecue and his cooking, but you're educating
for real.
all of us on some things that we need to know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to get to the sauce, but I just want people to realize, what you do. When you go to the grocery store, just because they got a name on it, it's Purdue, it's Tyson, it's that. No, it's good, but it's not. It's really not. And I know I'm getting off subject, but it just sometimes.
No, that's information that was needed.
There's sometimes that when I tell people and show people, and I have maybe 1 out of 10. No, man, you don't need to do all that. I said, well, okay then, you do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? But if you're buying the meats from us, this is how we do it. And I get on Facebook, I put on there step by step what we do. What everything we do. And this sauce right here, it's a very good sauce. We got everybody talking about it. Everybody talking about it.
I think how many bottles did you have to take to Raleigh recently?
We took 65 bottles. Took 65 to Raleigh, and we did good. We did good. We did good on it, and we down in Kentucky. We did good because this sauce is different. You know, I should have went to Kroger's and brought a bottle of Sweet Baby Ray's and then compare it to this, or either bought a bottle of Kraft and compare this. Brought a bottle of Heinz. What's the guy, the black man, Stubbs. Now I can go get any type of barbecue sauce and use this sauce and put it in like little cups and let people sample different type of barbecue sauce. And I bet you, I put my life on it. It would not touch this right here.
Wow. But one thing I could say, man, it's like a hidden secret to success. You got to be a little bit crazy and a lot of passion, right? A little bit of crazy with a lot of passion. Like, I'm listening to your story, and it reminds me of my little brother, right? He, this guy, I remember him walking 2-3 miles in the rain, the snow, you know, just to get to work, riding the bus 2, 4, 5 hours, just back and forth, doing what he got to do. And that's the equivalent of when you first started out. Like, a lot of people were used to going to a restaurant or going to a fast food place, but you're like, no, like I will walk to people and give them the food because I believe in what I'm doing. And I'm gonna work my way up to where I need to be. So if it's from walking to riding a scooter to getting a truck with the Black Beauty on the back of it, it's a process. But it's like in those moments when everybody's laughing and making fun, you got to be a little bit crazy to be like, forget whatever y'all talking about. I know what I'm doing is what it is. And then you got to be a lot of passion, because it's like when you talk about the way that you focus on the cleanliness of this food. I don't know many people that think about it in that way. Like, I can't even say that I've heard my auntie is a caterer, and she has her own catering business. I've never heard of her talk of her food the way that you talk about yours, in that cleanliness fashion. And it's like, that's a lot of passion, brother, a whole lot of passion. So I commend you for what you're doing, like, for real, and I can't wait to taste the sauce. Like, for real.
No, sometimes my wife, I get to talking about this so much, and she's like, babe.
Yeah.
I mean, because I'm dedicated to this.
That's it.
I'm dedicated.
That's it.
I mean, you don't know. I'm dedicated. Okay, I can show on my Facebook. I'm up at 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
2:00 in the morning. I get up at 2:00 in the morning. I pray for everybody in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Read a couple scriptures in the Bible. Then get in the kitchen, pray, and I go to work. And I work from sometimes like 2 in the morning. I might knock off maybe about 4:30 in the afternoon. And then during that time, I'm still working.
Right.
Because I got to get out. I got to go buy supplies. I got to go to dealerships. I got to talk to people. Where this is that. And my day is not over with until 11:30 at night.
Man, I saw this.
That's the life of an entrepreneur.
No, for real. I saw this video of Kobe Bryant, right? And he was in Japan being interviewed after he retired. And he's talking about what is this black mamba mentality, right? Explain the black mamba mentality. And he's like, bro, like, it's real simple. It's the equivalent of like, say both you and I were NBA players, right? You might, if that's our profession, that's what we do every day, then that practicing that craft is a part of what we get paid for. Most NBA players, they'll practice 2 or 3 times a day for 4 or 5 hours each time, blocking and keep it pushing. But what Kobe does with that black mamba mentality, like, he's practicing 4, 5, 6 times a day while other people are resting. Like, he's fully focused on that, like doing whatever he has to do 1,000 times over, so that when he get in the game, it's really, really simple. And so it's like what you're doing right now, it's like that black mamba focus, that black mamba mentality when it comes to your specific craft. So it's like, even though it's barbecue sauce, like the steps and the formula that you're taking is the steps that all the greats take. Kobe Bryant, Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, your boy Tesla. What was his name? I can't believe I forgot his name. But you got to invent Tesla. Like, anybody that's done anything great, they had to make a decision to be abnormally crazy about what they're doing and extremely passionate about it, to where they're gonna commit their whole entire life to it. That's what you're doing, man. Like I said, man, I'm excited about what you're doing, and just that passion alone is what's gonna sell more bottles. Just that excitement alone is what's gonna get more people connected to what you're doing, because people don't buy products, people buy people. Right. And so you could put that sauce, you could line the sauce up all you want to, and they could touch your sauce and be like, it's cool. But then when they realize that it's not, these other sauces with the brand names on it, the mind's going to automatically say, well, I'd rather go with the brand names. But then when they connect with your passion, and who you really are and how committed you are to this, it's like, no, man, give me 2 bottles, right?
Well, yeah,
give me 2.
I mean, that's like how it was. You know, when we was down in Raleigh, you know, I got to talking and stuff. And I was like, look, man, just give me 3 bottles.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, what I do, you know, when I talk to people, I talk to them. And the guy, he like, man, you is dedicated to what, I said, yes, I am. I'm dedicated. You know, when I get up 2 and 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and do this, and do my foods, like if I'm gonna go sell food or if I'm gonna go to the dealership to an event, this is what I do. I gets up.
Right.
And I only reason lie, because I videoed it. I'm up at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
This is what I do. This is what I do. I mean, I talks about it. I mean, I talk about it every day.
Right.
And I'm saying this. My mom came from Virginia. They come here maybe sometime I stay 2 weeks a month. And so we went out, had to go take her to Walmart, and people was coming to me, hey, Ms. What, hey, Ms. What? And so we got back to the house. She told my wife, she said, how these people talking to him? And my wife said, everybody know him. You know, because that's what I do, you know, like just like now, if I leave here, like if I go to somewhere, I'll just start talking to people about this, about food. And I pass on my cards. Then later, I have people calling me. They want sauce. I even deliver this. You know, I charge a $2 delivery charge, depending on how far I got to go.
Right.
And this right here is a blessing from God. Because we got another sauce called Miss T's God Gets the Hands.
I was going to say, you said you got how many different flavors?
We got 20.
Wow.
We got 20.
Wow.
We got 20. I should have brought the book. Let y'all see it. I got 20. I have 20.
That's what's up, man.
I got 20, dude.
That's what's up.
20. For
So
real.
let me ask you a way out there, like in the middle of nowhere type of question, right? A lot of times people do things, and they do things because it's something that they're passionate about, and they do it because it'll get them money. They do it because some people do it because it'll get them fame. But the question is, with the sauce, how will you be able to change generations beyond your existence, beyond your kids' existence, beyond your kids' existence? And that's just something I'm throwing out there because it's a challenge for everybody. Like it's boss men, boss women as a whole. Like when we're doing things, we have to start thinking generationally. And so I'm just curious, what is that for you?
Well, one thing had been on my mind, had been a while back, when I was growing up. You know, I always had wanted to help people. You know, that's one thing I want to do. You know, I want to be able to help people. I want to, like the women's shelter, the homeless, people need homes, battered kids. You know, I want to see this right here. Like I tell people, now listen to what I'm going to tell you. Like I tell people, money don't make me. God let money makes me. Just like with this sauce here. Money don't make the sauce. God make the sauce. So everything what I do is in God. And I want to be able to help people, give charities. You know, my kids, my daughter, you know, come down the generation. Okay, this is what you got to do. You know, you got to be able to take this and for to help people out. Don't look at it as making $1. See, that's wrong right now. See, when people start off doing this, you know, make money and stuff, it's just like, boom.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Well, okay, I might throw this and throw that. But no, you know, if I feel like this, if you're in a situation that you can, just like what you're doing, you're in a situation that you can help people, you're going to do it. You know what I'm saying? That's my goal.
Right.
And that's been my goal ever since December 13th, 1988, when I had my car accident. I got traumatic brain damage, and I have seizures, and I have strokes. I just got out of the hospital about 3 weeks ago. I was in Kentucky. That the Met flight me to Nashville, Tennessee. Wow. That's how bad it was. And I was grateful for to be here last week. Because, you know, they said the doctors, but I say God.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, I like not being here, dude. Trust me. I like not being here.
Got it.
But I am here. And that's ever since I've been going through stuff like that, and that's been in my mind, you know, one day I'm able to help people. One day I'm going to be able to put people in houses, you know, that's what I want. That's my passion.
That's awesome.
That's my goal.
That's awesome. Well, I'm excited about that vision being crystallized for you, brother. For real, for real.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, tell everybody how they can get in contact with you so they can get a bottle. And then we're going to take a break, and we're going to make sure we get into the sauce and eat during the break, Ned. So find an extra long clip so somebody can fix us a plate and bring it here. But if they want to order the sauce, get it from you, how can they get up with you?
Well, I haven't got stuff set up like a poster, but if you want it, you can call me at 757-304-1140, or you can email us at Teresa, number 2 Willie, that'd be Teresa, the number 2 Willie, Willie. You can email me, send me your information, and I will deliver it to you personally, because I don't have the PayPal, the stuff. I don't have none of that yet. So I will deliver it to you and make sure you get it the same day. And if it's out of with Douglasville or outside anywhere area, I'm gonna charge you $2 delivery charge. I will bring it to you. I bring it to your house. I bring it right to your front door. I'm just like the UPS. I'm just like the mailman.
That's what's up.
You know, so I'll bring it to you.
That's what's up.
You know, I mean, you can call me. Tell me how many balls you want. I'll bring it to you. I don't care where you at.
Awesome. So tell them the name of the barbecue sauce again.
The name of this barbecue sauce is Miss T's Signature Deep South Style Barbecue, Spicy Lemon Pepper Sweet. Everyone love it. Go on my Facebook, Willie Mason, and you will see a response. Everybody talking about this sauce. You will love it. You need to get you some. I got one more question. 247-365. Don't sleep on Miss T's.
That's what's up. Well, we're gonna take a break. When y'all come back, we're gonna be eating. We're gonna be, you know, just family on the air. So we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have our next guest plus play the ribs here on the Living Like a Boss show on Instinct Radio.
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
Because you were created in love. You were fearfully and wonderfully made. You have the seeds of greatness within you. You were born to live a victorious life. You are brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous. You are worthy of the best things in life. Hello, it's your girl Regina Sunshine Robinson, coming here today to talk to you about my new book, Regina Sunshine State of Mind, 7 Keys to Help You Get Your Mind Right. If you've been looking for that tool to help you in getting a positive mental attitude and not only getting it, but maintaining it, this is the book for you. You can find it on my website, reginasunshine.com, or you can also find it at amazon.com. Hello, it's your girl Regina Sunshine with the Living Like a Boss Men show, where we discuss business, occupation, service, and significance, giving our men a place to have a barbershop conversation with a purpose. Hello, it's your girl Regina Sunshine, motivational speaker, author, and talk show host. I am passionate about helping others to live their best life. I call it getting a Regina Sunshine state of mind. I'm the host of the Regina Sunshine Show. It airs every Monday from 12 noon to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on instinctradio.net, where again you will find me helping others to live their best life. It is my goal always to leave you better than I found you and to help you to understand that it's not over till you win. And if you hadn't won yet, that just means it's not over. Make sure to follow me on Facebook.com under Regina Sunshine Robinson and also on my website, reginasunshine.com.
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
I got this little boy.
All right, so we are back from the break, and if you were here before the break, you met Mr. Willie Mason, and he talked about his barbecue sauce, his barbecue company, because not one sauce, it's a whole range of sauces, and I am already a fan because I already had some in my house, but this is the first time that Michael Supreme had the opportunity to try the sauce, so we want to give him the chance to talk about it before we start talking to our next guest.
Man, amazing. Phenomenal. And that's no gas on the situation at all.
So I know you are so brutally honest about anything, so we would know.
Like when he said if you put it on your wife, when he said if you put it on your wife, boy, man, like, hey, it's one of them things where you just got to shut up and just eat.
Yes, and so I had to send my plate away so we could actually talk. But we want to thank you again, and tell them, because you said you forgot to tell them how much it was. So go ahead and make sure you tell them how much it is again.
It's a $6 bottle. Like I said, and plus delivery charge. If you just want it, call 757-304-1140, or you can email us, Teresa, number 2 Willie, it's T-E, Willie, W-I-L-E, @gmail.com. And like I said, 247-365, don't sleep on us. Don't sleep on Miss Lee's.
Man, it's $6. It should be more.
Yeah, thank you.
It should be more.
The lady at the insurance company, she told me I should sell it for $10 a bottle.
Hey,
It's awesome.
That's hey.
She told me that.
This is a different kind of ball show. We're doing all kinds of crazy stuff. But we're going to definitely bring you back at the end. So just have a seat and be with us. And so, Mike, I'm going to let you go ahead, continue on while I introduce our next guest. Well, the next guest doesn't feel like a first-time guest, even though he's officially a first-time guest because he has been here with us before with his daughter. Welcome to the show, Mr. Thomas Priester. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Doing good. I'm going to have you turn your chair a little bit so you're looking
Sure.
at the camera and at it. There we go. Well, I'm going to let you tell the audience a little bit about who you are and what you
Sure.
do.
Yeah, I'll give you the short version because I want to get to those ribs myself.
Yes.
So, yeah, Thomas Priester, native New Yorker. Been here in Atlanta for about 10 years now. Serial entrepreneur. I hate to use that term, but that's what I am. Have an insurance brokerage up in Duluth. Teach my kids everything I can about entrepreneur. My daughter wants to say hi this morning. She couldn't be here, but she loves her, Miss Regina. Have a couple of organizations I'm affiliated with. I teach financial literacy in public schools in Atlanta. Right now, I'm working on an organization that helps men that have felony records find employment, because that record a lot of times, keeps them from finding gainful employment, and unfortunately, sometimes that puts us in situations that we don't need to be in, with the law, and could be pretty harmful to us. So, we're working on a project with that, and that's pretty much the short of what I do.
The short of what you do.
Yes.
Well, I like to mention how I met someone, and I can't remember. Did we meet at Operation Hope? Did I meet you the first time at Evans event?
I think it was Operation Hope.
Okay, because that's where I saw your daughter.
My daughter was a vendor at one of the events. You wore
That's
a
where I
bracelet.
got this bracelet.
Yes.
And if you guys remember, we had the Awesome Girls show. Not the Awesome Girls show. Let me back up. I got two shows mixed up. The Artsy Girls takeover of the Regina Sunshine show, and your daughter JL was one of the guests. Is she still 16? How is she now?
She's 16. She had just turned 16. She was so excited. Yeah.
Yes, business owner. Is that one of her bracelets as well?
One of her
Dad's
newer
one of her bracelets.
Yep, always.
And that's how I got to meet you. And she is such a beautiful reflection of what you're teaching her.
Thank you.
Because you just said you pass it on to your children, the things you have learned.
Yeah.
And she is so confident and strong.
Too confident.
No, there's no such thing. There's no such thing. And so sure of herself
Yeah.
that, again, it is a beautiful reflection of what you have poured into her.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So let's get into this financial literacy piece.
Sure.
Because it is one of the missing components in our community, especially when it comes to our young people learning from an early age what it means to be a business owner, or what it means to have multiple streams of income. All these different conversations that we are beginning to have now openly that haven't really been had for a long time. Why was it important to you that you begin to take that knowledge and that information into the public school system?
Right. Well, I have over 15 years experience in the insurance industry. And I work with some of the, major companies out there, Mutual of Omaha, Transamerica, a lot of the big hitters. And back in 2014, I launched my company, my financial services company, with a focus on educating our community on the importance of insurance products and financial literacy. I've run a couple of offices. I had an office up in Duluth I ran. I had an office down by the airport I ran. And I found that the bigger companies I was working with weren't really putting a lot of emphasis on bringing education to our communities. It was all about the sales. So, when I launched, I said, we need to switch it up a little bit. I really want to educate our people on the importance of, like I said, insurance and financial literacy. Unfortunately, when it comes to, different insurance products, a lot of times people just think about burial. But there's so many other ways you can use insurance to build legacy, to build wealth. And that's one of the things that we teach on. At its basis, yes, you do need to make sure your burial's covered so your family's not doing a GoFundMe page and, fish fries and things like that. Yeah, so, that's our focus, is just making sure people understand what it is and how to use it. A lot of times we do have it, we just don't know how to use it, or we don't have the right kind. So we do a lot of informational sessions and seminars on educating people on that. Financial literacy, obviously, big thing in our community, people living from paycheck to paycheck. There's levels to the money game, and there's some simple things that we teach that you can apply every day, to help build towards that wealth. I mean, I always tell people one of the keys is make more than you spend. If you're spending, right at the amount you make, how are you going to build, anything? It's some simple things we can do every day. So that's what I teach, my kids. All right, you're about to spend $10 at McDonald's. Once that McDonald's is gone, then what do you have? Right. Stomachache, full belly full a little bit, a stomachache. But what if you can take that $10 and plant it somewhere where it makes you a couple more dollars? Right. I always tell my kids, okay, y'all into Apple and, all these different products. Why not buy stock? Why not buy something that is going to give you some value, a year, 2 year, 3. We got to stop just spending, our seed. We eat everything. We devour everything. And then at the end of the day, there's nothing left to grow.
So when you're having these conversations, what is that other than, of course, make more than you spend? What's the next level that you find that people are most ignorant about? What's that next thing?
Right.
I need to make sure you know this before we go any further.
For me, it's investing. Having your money sit in the bank doesn't do anything for you. I mean, bank accounts, savings accounts really don't give anything. And to be honest with you, if you have your money sitting in a non-interest-bearing account, you're losing money because you're not even keeping up with inflation. So if inflation is 2.4%, you got your money sitting in a bank account that's making zero, guess what? You're losing money. So, I always tell people, after you have, your emergency fund set up, you need to find different things to invest in. And, a lot of people get scared with, I don't want to lose money. I don't know what. There's a lot of things that you can do to learn how to invest. Small steps, small things you can invest in. I like to invest in my community. I just invested in a black-owned water company out of Texas, doing some great things. Small input, to get started, not a lot of fees and things like that, but it grows. People are talking about things like Bitcoin and stuff like that. That's great, but you got to understand it. You got to learn how to invest. That's how wealthy people make their money. It's not about the income paycheck to paycheck. It's about having that investment income, and I follow a lot of, investors, and one of the, wealthiest investors in this country is Warren Buffett. And he always talks about, this man is 80 plus years old. He still invests to this day because he understands it's a game. There's levels to it. He puts his money in just to find strategies to get it back out. We can't be afraid of things like that. We just have to learn, but we have to learn to invest.
So when you go into the schools or when you're teaching these financial literacy classes, what are some of the top questions that you get?
With the kids is always how to make money. They always want to know how to make money. But what we do is we teach them how to be successful entrepreneurs. I mean, business ownership is the key. You're taxed differently. You have more control. So what we do is we go on and we help them, put together a business plan. We help them cultivate their ideas to see if there's really something we can build into a viable business. and then we take them from that stage all the way to a fully functional business. One of the organizations I work with, Operation Hope, actually does pitch competitions with the kids where if you win, they'll give you $500 towards starting your business. So, you can go ahead and incorporate your business. You can go ahead and get your business cards, do your advertising, buy all the products and things you need. So, that's one of the things we teach them is not to be tied into your traditional 9 to 5. The economy is changing, the financial landscape and the employment landscape is changing. So, we try to put them in a position where they have a lot more control than, your typical traditional situation where if they downsize, you're laid off. It's changing. I mean, I went into a McDonald's the other day with my son, and they have the, I call them robots, but you go ahead and you place your order on a machine now.
Yeah.
I mean, there was one young lady behind the counter, and, after you place your order on the machine, it spits out a ticket with a number. They call your number, you go and get your food. So all those jobs are gone. And a lot of our young people, fast food was their introduction into the workforce. That's gone. So now, a lot of people they've deemed this the gig economy, where people have side hustles. You're doing Uber or you're doing some freelance photography, you're doing that. And that's how people are making a lot of their money, because a lot of the traditional jobs are no longer there. So you got to find ways to create. So we try to put them in a position to do that by teaching them how to be entrepreneurs and to start their own businesses.
Well, you mentioned Operation Hope, and I'll go back to that. First of all, I think people really don't know what goes on with Operation Hope.
Yeah.
And that conference is bar none.
Yeah.
The best conference. I've been 2 years in a row now.
Yeah.
And in terms of expanding your mind and your thought process. And I was so impressed to see, I know there were different groups that had sponsored young people to be there. Because for most of them, you're sitting in a room with multiple billionaires and people who, for real, are making money on a higher level and who think in a totally different way than people they're around on a daily basis. Right. And so what I was thinking about, that this is the question I had. One of the biggest things we're going to have to do with young people is begin to change their thought process, begin to change their mindsets by exposing them to things that they won't see on a daily basis. How can we do that in an everyday setting, really begin to change their thought process?
Well, I try to, with my children, is expose them to things that are not the norm. You speak at the conference. I always push my kids, just do it. So we were at the conference. My daughter
who was amazing on stage.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, she's amazing on stage.
The crazy part about that is she wasn't supposed to be on stage.
Really?
We were at an event the Saturday prior, and we were just doing some brainstorming about the upcoming event. They said, we need an MC. We don't want an adult to do it. We want a kid to do it this year. And my daughter was sitting in the back. So I called her over, and I was like, hey, here's an opportunity. I say, take it. I just tell them, take it. We'll figure it out later. Never pass up an opportunity.
Yeah.
So, she reluctantly was like, okay. She didn't really know what it was. She just thought she was going to hand out an award or something. So they were like, okay, we'll send you the script over the weekend. The event started Monday. This was a Saturday. So we get there Monday. She still doesn't have the script. And she's like, well, Dad, what am I doing? I said, oh, just a little this, a little that. And they call her into this back room. And there's about a team of 3 people working with her to develop this script. And they're like, okay, what's going to happen is we're going to go live at this time. There's going to be about 4,000 people in the room. Yeah. We're streaming live on CNBC or whatever. Yeah. And now the panic is starting to set in because she's got like 45 minutes to figure all this out. She went out there and she killed it.
She did.
I mean, they invited her back.
I never would have known that backstory because it was like she owned the stage.
Yeah. So that's my thing. I always just expose them to things. Go out and try it. What's the worst that can happen? You bomb, whatever. We all do that. Failure is part of success, part of growth. So, that's my thing. I always expose them to things that are not the norm. My son this summer took a stock trading class. It's like everybody else is hanging out playing video games, on the basketball court. No, we're going to do something different. So he fell in love with it. I was like, 3 weeks I had to drive down to Georgia Tech. I was regretting it living up in Gwinnett. But you know what? It was something I needed to expose him to because it broadened his perspective, his horizon. So things like that, I always say, get out of your comfort zone. That's the first thing. A lot of times things we're fearful of, once we face them, it's nothing to be afraid of. She was on stage in front of 4,000 people. She loves to talk now. I mean, you know, everything's a little stage for her. Once you do it that big, everything else seems so much easier.
Yeah.
That's big. That's big. I had a question about the piece you were talking about, an organization you work with or organization you have that works with the felons.
Yeah, we it's called Impact Atlanta.
Okay.
We're in the process of putting together right now. Again, what we're trying to do, just like with the youth, is put our men in a position to better provide for themselves and their families.
Right.
You look at some of the situations where we had encounters with police. My man Eric Garner up in New York selling cigarillos on the corner. You know, little side hustle, trying to make a couple of extra dollars. Didn't need to die for that.
Right.
The brother down in New Orleans, his name escapes me real quick, but he was down there selling CDs, you know, to support his family. He's a felon. He couldn't get a job. The guy that he was selling in front of the shop was like, hey, he never caused any problems. I mean, this guy would come out here in the morning, sell some CDs, and the beautiful part about it is some of the money he was making, he would help other people on the streets. He would come in and buy him water or chips or whatever. He lost his life. So my thing is, what if we can put these brothers in a space where they can create and provide for their families without having to do some of these things? I mean, the work ethic is there.
Right.
He's there every day, rain, shine, whatever, selling CDs because he needs to provide for his family. And it broke my heart when you saw his son on TV crying that he wants his dad, he misses his dad. So, you know, our thing is, you know, we try to put men in that position in a space where we teach them skills, entrepreneurial skills, and connect them with business owners and help them, you know, develop and grow their own businesses. So again, they can provide for themselves and for their families, because as men, at our core, we're providers.
Right.
And you take that from a man, you put him in a bad space.
Right.
You know, for these brothers, fortunately, they didn't do anything, you know, illegal. They were, you know, just trying. But some of our brothers, unfortunately, they go out and do some things that, you know, put them in a bad space. So we just try to create opportunity for them to put them on the right path.
It's big. And so for business owners, how do they get on as one of the businesses that you all connect with and are able to send felons through? And I'm asking the question strategically and intentionally.
Sure.
Because I know two people that one guy has a trucking company.
Right.
That major contracts with Home Depot, everything. And he consistently, the only people he hires are felons because he's an ex-felon. And then another person that does landscaping, same situation, ex-felon.
Right.
The only person he hires is ex-felon.
Yeah, right now we are seeking, you know, people that are business owners that are willing to work with our men in our community. So we're putting that piece together right now, but I'll be more than happy to share my information if people are saying, yeah, you know, I would definitely like to, you know, be one of those businesses that will sponsor one of these brothers or, you know, help walk them through that process of creating their own. You know, we're definitely looking for people like that because we're in that building phase right now, because by the end of the year, we want to open it up and start bringing in, you know, our men. We want to have everything in place so we can say, hey, here's a business mentor for you.
Right.
You know, that's what we're trying to do, get the mentors and businesses in place. So once we open up, we can automatically connect. Because, I mean, it has to happen quick for a lot of these people.
Definitely.
You know, we have a couple of things we're working with now where some of the guys that are about to be released within the next 6 months, we're actually going to start going into prison systems to prep them so as soon as they come out, they got something to walk into. Because one of the reasons our recidivism rate is so high, there's nothing out here.
Nothing to fall back into.
I mean, you
but the streets.
They kind of the job situation is bad for those of us who do have degrees and diplomas and no records. It's that much harder for the brother that has the felony on his record. So, you know, those are the things that we're trying to map out right now.
Got it. Well, definitely. Before you leave, let's connect.
Absolutely. Yes. Definitely.
Well, I was already thinking about the entrepreneurship piece that you're putting together at the Y. Did you want to mention that? Are y'all still working on that? Because I'm like, this is the perfect connection.
It's a beta test phase of what we're doing. We're calling it a success series.
Okay.
Over at the Y, and it's going to be an Andrew Young Entrepreneurs Incubator that we're putting together. And so it's strategically focused on teaching people the fundamentals of success.
Yeah.
You know, because at the end of the day, I tell people all the time, it's you could be a Pee Wee League player, sports player, right? Basketball. The only difference that sets you apart from where you are in LeBron James, it's the length of time you've been playing the game and how serious you are about it.
Right.
And so it's the same thing with success. It don't matter whether you shoveling poop or whether you desiring to create the top Fortune 500 business. You know, like the fundamentals to go from ground zero to there are the same.
Right.
And so through the YMCA, what we'll be doing is we'll be teaching that fundamentals to a strategic group and consistently doing that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I love to get involved.
Okay.
I mean, that's my thing. I want to educate You know, that's what we do. So, you know, I would love to get involved.
Awesome. So we'll connect, man. I'll learn more about your story, and we'll see about that platform.
Sure, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, see, this B.O.S. is definitely a place of divine connections, and I always know that, you know, this guy here, if he meets you and he got a spot for you, he will put you to work.
That's what it's about.
Really, really fast, right?
That's what it's about. That's community.
So when we met at Evan's event, we were talking then about some of the things that you and these other guys were putting together in terms of not just helping young people in school, but also in the community. This is kind of a brotherhood question.
Sure.
What has it been like for you to be able to operate in a space where you got men around you who truly have the same heart as yours and also have the willingness to make things happen with you?
Right. So my thing is, we need, as men, accountability, partnership, and community. And, you know, I grew up playing sports, so very competitive a lot of times. And I've seen that carry over into a lot of our dynamics and relationships when it comes to other men. And I had to get to a space where, like you were sharing earlier, I can't do this by myself. Right. So there were some barriers that I had to break down and say, you know what, let me humble myself and go to this brother and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. You know, can we partner? Can we, you know, lab together and figure this thing out together? So for me, that process has made me more effective when working with the young people, because I'm starting out with them at a younger age. It's okay to be competitive, but there's a line of being competitive and going over, you know. So that's been a great benefit and help to me. So, you know, being able to establish those relationships with other men and carrying that over to the young people has definitely been a benefit for me. I'm 40 plus now, and I still need mentors, you know, whether it be in my business life, my professional life. And, you know, that's just been the transition that I've just really been working on over the last year, is really making sure I have those connections with other brothers that are there to help, support, and keep me accountable to the mission, the cause, and the purpose.
I thank you for that transparency, because it's just a conversation we were having, and you can share. We were having a conversation about some things we're trying to do with B.O.S., and Michael actually talked about that, help breaking down that competitive barrier between men so that you guys can really collaborate.
That's the crazy thing. Like, when you put it's like I told Regina not too long ago, like, her being in the space is the balance, right? You put all men in this show, and then it's egos, testosterone, like
flying everywhere.
Right? 'Cause it's like you're not gonna be the one that speaks over me. You're
Right.
not gonna be the one that shine better than me. Like, this is me, regardless whether it's your show or not. This is me. But she comes, and as being a woman in the space, she's the balance. But when we desire to move forward to create change in the world as a whole, as men, like, it has to be that structure in a way where everybody's able to humble themselves and understand that, hey, everything in life is a game. Yeah. And everybody has a position to play. Absolutely. And as long as everybody can figure out, okay, this is the picture, where do you fit, right? Where do you fit in the accomplishment of this goal? You know, the accomplishment of painting this picture. And so that's the biggest hurdle to cross, to jump over in the world. And in order for us to be able to take this B.O.S. network and be able to flip it and to be able to create change for real, that's going to be the biggest hurdle that we have to climb. It's us as men being able to do that thing where we humble and say, okay, cool, like, the only leader is God. And if God positioned this person to lead, or that person to lead, or that person to run the play, they gonna do what they do. Right. I'm gonna follow suit, and I'm gonna make sure whatever position I'm supposed to play, I'm gonna play it, and then I'm gonna play it to the best of my ability. Because you got people that'll show up and say, okay, you know what, that's the leader, obviously, right? And so I'm only gonna do what the leader told me to do, right? Knowing that I could do I could add a million more different things to this thing. I'm only gonna do this one little bit because that's what they told me to do. But be in a position and a posture where it's like, we're doing this for the greater good. So it only makes sense for us to put all resources, all knowledge, all skills on the table, so that we can know what we're working with, and then we can start piecing this puzzle together in that way. But yeah, that humbling piece is huge.
Yeah, I mean, because if we do that, at the end of the day, we all win.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's that simple.
Definitely.
That's the way I look at it.
Awesome.
And it comes with maturity.
Yeah. It does.
And very open conversations. And I'll say this, the last time we were here, was that the show or the show before, where you were you really talked about the things you had gone through.
That
It
was-
made
yeah,
a
this was a
difference
while
when
ago.
one man was
Yeah.
willing to be vulnerable and open,
Yeah.
and it was like
Right.
a floodgate started, and the
Right,
other
right,
men in the
right.
room began to open
Right,
up and
right.
share. And so it takes one man with courage to stand up and say, you know what, I'm gonna show you my heart.
Yeah.
Right.
And then what happened in this room?
And that, hey,
Guys
man.
just started sharing
And
like
that's what I
crazy.
told the team when I went back when they were watching that show. I said, listen, like you all saw what just happened in that spot. Like somebody had to make a decision to be vulnerable, because if I didn't put my deepest and darkest out there, and I'm asking everybody else to put their deepest and darkest out there, everybody would have been like, awkward
Right.
moment, you
Right.
know, awkward
Right.
moment. But yeah, that's what
And
it
you
is.
you got to create the space for that. I mean, because as men, we have the facade sometime, you know, for the spouse or the kids. You got to have that front,
right.
you know, always strong, so you don't have that space sometime to be vulnerable.
Right.
You know, so when you are with your friends, you're talking sports, whatever, nobody's getting real about
Right,
stuff.
right.
But then when somebody finally does break down that barrier, it's all open. And
Exactly.
we just need, you know, more brothers to be open to those conversations, because, you know, we need that.
Healing comes in those conversations.
Absolutely.
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 And that's what I've heard from so many men about this space, that healing takes place in this
Right,
space.
right.
But I think it's because men like you who are willing to come in and say, you know what, I'm going to lay mine out here.
Right.
And hopefully it helps somebody in the
Right,
room, and it
right,
always
right.
does.
Yeah.
Well, we thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Please tell our audience how they can contact you if they want you to come in and talk to some kids. You know, they
Sure.
want to support your efforts as you move forward with a new project. Let them know how they can support you.
Sure. Our website is yourpafs.com. Our phone number is 404-996-4279. Or you can reach me at tpriester, Priester, at yourpafs.com.
Awesome. You
Yeah.
ready to hang around to the end? We're going to close it out together?
Yeah, I got to get them ribs.
Okay, you go get your you can go get your ribs while we talk to the last guest. Does that work?
That'll work.
All right, well, we can take a quick break. When we come back, a returning guest, a part of our family here at Instinct Radio is back. Mr. Alvin Thomas will be with us here right after the break.
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
Hello, it's your girl, Regina Sunshine, with the Living Like a Boss Men show, where we discuss business, occupation, service, and significance, giving our men a place to have a barbershop conversation with a purpose. Hello, it's your girl, Regina Sunshine Robinson, coming here today to talk to you about my new book, Regina Sunshine State of Mind, 7 Keys to Help You Get Your Mind Right. If you've been looking for that tool to help you in getting a positive mental attitude, and not only getting it, but maintaining it, this is the book for you. You can find it on my website, reginasunshine.com, or you can also find it at amazon.com.
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
All right, you guys, you're back live on the air with Regina Sunshine, and we got is that Laris? I'm gonna keep talking, Nat, and you get Laris Hodges a chair and drag him on in here. We ain't gonna let him eat yet. He gonna have to wait on the ribs. But yes, this is Regina Sunshine with the Living Like a Boss show. We have Mr. Michael Zaprine to my left, and our good brother Laris Hodges is going to slide right on in. So I'm serious. We've been eating on air and everything, so it's a real impromptu show. So come on in.
What up, man?
How you doing, man? Good to see you again.
Good to see you. Well, we have Mr. Alvin Thomas back with us, and he was talking before about a book that he was writing. It has manifested. And he is here to talk to us about manning up, a man's role in breaking the grip of domestic violence. Welcome back to the show, brother.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be back. Glad to see everybody.
It's good to see you. It's so good to see you. So what has happened since we saw you last?
Ah.
What's been going on?
Oh, a lot. Just been finally came to fruition with a lot of prayer, a lot of self-examination, and I was able to get it down on pages in a book to share. So I'm excited about it.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, yes. You know, and it's so funny, me and Laris were talking about this. He said, everybody's writing a book. He said, people just writing a book to say they're writing a book. And they ain't got no real information to share, right, Laris?
That's right, that's
but
right.
a brother like you, we know, who has a heart for people and does have something to share. It's a blessing to know that you have taken the time to
And
put
a real
something
story.
together.
You
Yes.
know, I remember that it was February, right? Or was that March in JR Crickets?
It may be in March. Was it March?
It was in March. Sure.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we first got on there. I don't know if you remember. I just hugged you.
Yeah.
You know, I was overwhelmed, and to know that I was born in Wilmington, Delaware, and that's where you're from as well. You know, so I know a lot about that area, and I mean, you really are. That's like coming out of Nazareth, you know, back in the day. So yeah, I'm happy for you, brother.
And I thank you all for your inspiration along the way. You know, helping each other with the little things makes a big difference to anyone that's trying to move forward. So I appreciate your invitations to other events, and I thank you.
Well, tell us about your book.
Manning Up, a role in breaking the grips of domestic violence and abuse. It is written as a self-study, and it is written also as a group study, as well as it's written for self-conversation and a group conversation. You know, it's times that we have to, it gives you an opportunity to conversate with yourself about your thoughts and your beliefs, what you were brought up on about domestic violence and abuse, and what it looks like and what it is. So it gives you an opportunity to have a self-examination. I have a little quiz in here that I tell the guys who go through it. It's not a test of right and wrong. You go through the quiz. You don't have to hand it in to me or share it with anyone else unless you want to, but it shows a reflection of who you are and where you are at that point. And then when it gets into a group organization who uses it, again, we're able to bounce off each other our beliefs. I mean, because a lot of things that we have been brought up with, we don't really know what's right or wrong. And so this book helps you recognize some of the things you may be saying, some of your gestures that you know are used to doing that are actually abusive, and how it can offend not just your wife or partner, your children, you know, who are watching us every day. To just take a self-examination of yourself and get those things in order. And it's never too late. It's never too late to pick up a book and see a reflection and move on. The excuse of this is just how I am is no longer optional.
Right.
So, you know, this is what Manning Up is about. It came from the heart as personal testimonies, as well as years of training and experience. The personal testimony in here, I think, is the most effective part of the book because it speaks to us like we speak to each other. So yeah, that's Manning.
Like I appreciate the self-assessment piece, you know, because that's one of them things that people don't do often. You know, like a lot of people go through life and they don't really look at that man in the mirror and understand what's really going on with self as they're moving through the world. So the fact that you're able to put that in a book form, and then you're giving it to kids when you go through the schools as well. Yeah,
it's written easy reading, and I wrote it small on purpose because as a note or a general note, men as a whole, we're not long length readers. I could have made a book as thick as a Bible.
Right.
But I wanted them to be able to start it and complete the book.
That's great insight.
Pull something out of there. So,
because I hate reading books. I've got plenty of them. I start them, and I just, you know, my attention span, man, it's just so small.
Right.
You know, that if it's not enjoyable reading, you know, I'm going to get bored very easily. I'm going to start getting tired, actually.
Yeah,
you know,
and when we look at our youth, you know, the attention span of our youth are even smaller than what we have. We've learned patience.
Right.
They haven't gotten there yet. So when they pick up the book and they're able to complete the book in a day, 2 days, then they're able to absorb something out of it. They can take that with them from Friday and start working with it on Monday.
Right.
So,
That's big.
Like that.
That's big.
Yeah, so is there, and obviously I want to get the book now, but is there anything in there that addresses disengaging from the early signs of an unhealthy relationship? Because a lot of what I know to be true as a man is that a lot of times things can start off a certain way, any relationship for that matter, but there are triggers in everybody. And I mean, I know you do this for a living as well, to a degree, correct?
I'm an educator in a school district, but every day it's teaching our youth, young men and women, of how to recognize when someone is disrespecting you, what is not right or wrong. So yes, I do it as a profession.
All right, and so so I just wanted to know, you do have some of that in the book, I'm assuming.
Yes. When I talk about personally, I go way back and I think about moms. Moms was a great teacher of how to recognize crazy, so to speak. And I don't want to put that out there as a joke, but again, there are signals, there are signs that they're put up in front of us every time we meet someone. Doesn't take us long,
Right.
but we sometimes look over it for various reasons. We look over the sign of, okay, something's just not right. So, something's not right here, but we look over because she's so fine. And I say that because it works both ways. He's so fine. And so we move whatever trigger that there is, even the way they introduce themselves to you. It can start from there. An introduction makes a big difference in the beginning of a relationship. And that sounds like a cliche, but it's a fact that first impressions make a big difference. So when we see those triggers, I have a chapter just about in here, which talks about triggers and how to recognize triggers and how to immediately put a stop to triggers. A section where I spoke to a group of young women one time, and it was in a correctional center, and we were talking about triggers and what was okay, or what was a deal breaker. And I moved on, gave different scenarios of how would you react to your boyfriend who gets in an argument with you and he gets so angry that he punches the wall. Well, they say, well, he didn't hit me, so it's fine. I say, well, it's okay, or is that a deal breaker? What I tell my daughters, that's a deal breaker. But no, they say he didn't hit me, so that's fine. We can move on from there. Next situation that comes in and you get in another argument and he just grabs you. Didn't hit you, just grabs you. And, well, he didn't hit me. So we're good. We can move on from there. He loves me, he's just a little jealous. Next situation, well, you know what? That puppy he brought you for Christmas comes in this time, he's so angry, he takes that puppy, kicks that puppy across the floor. They go, oh no, it's over. I'm like, now, okay, help me understand. Because if he's going to kick a little small puppy across the floor, who's that puppy's dear to you, what do you think's going to happen next? So we try to get him to focus. It shocked me from that first time that I did that, of the reaction of they actually let it go that far until the puppy. Now, that's abuse there, to kick a puppy across the floor. But they are looking more at it actually hurt them than the signs that were there to show that he was going to hurt you. The puppy was one thing, which is abuse. And I'll say that small in a small manner, because anytime that you abuse an animal, you're going to abuse a person.
Right.
So those triggers that are there. So that's just one of the small things I put in there. But there are so many triggers that we, again, overlook and don't count as credible reasons to move on or address the situation at least. So yes, sir.
Well, one of the things I love about you and what you do is that you have a different mindset from most of the world when it comes to people who have been abusers. This world in general says an abuser, throw them away. They're nothing. They're unredeemable. But even from the first time I met you, I recognized that for you, it's a way that you can reach people and help them, restore their lives and find that place again where they can be the person they want to be, not only for those that they love, but for society. How has it been to be a part of that? Because most of the world, I'm sure you've heard it, forget about them, they don't matter. But for you to say, no, they do matter. That's still some person's loved one. They matter to God, so they matter to me. What has it been like to be that person?
It's been challenging at many points, but because I know that it's a fact, I've seen it work. I've been personal friends with some abusers. I watched them abuse their spouses and abuse everyone around them, abuse themselves. And to see them change over the years, piece by piece, it's not an overnight thing. And we can't look at and expect ourselves as abusers to think it's going to be an overnight thing. If we commit to change, and we, just like anything else, if you commit to change and you make the steps towards change, you can change. So that's why I don't throw them away. They are people with struggles, just like anybody else. We all have our struggles in some area. And so to throw them away would not be doing what God planned for us to do for our fellow man. We can't throw them away. I watched them. I watched them change. And so it's when I can change a young man's mind, when I can help a young man see the difference of how to treat themselves, how to treat the women and girls around them, it's even more satisfying because they don't have to go through the things that occur when they abuse others. When you abuse someone else, you're abusing yourself. You just don't know it until it catches up with you. So yeah, it's challenging because of the mindset. You have some abusers that just say that this is just who I am. My father did it. His father did it. All my uncles did it. You don't have to. This book will help you in a very upfront way to see how things generationally occur. Things just don't happen, haphazardly. There's something back there that kicked this off. There's somebody who abused you because it's a taught thing. It's a learned thing. There's somebody who abused you in some kind of way for you to exhibit that kind of behavior yourself. So to see the slight changes gratifies me and just annuls all the challenges that I have been through to get there.
Awesome. Guys.
Yeah, you just said a mouthful. I was talking yesterday, actually, with my father about how we are this is why I have such big problems with the church, and I'm never afraid to voice it because it needs to be said, and these people need to be called out for this. We live in a society, evangelical, you see it all in politics and everything, that preach, a doctrine of Jesus Christ, and the message of Jesus Christ was redemption, and yet we do not redeem. And the church is the first culprit to not do it. And so it's a breath of fresh air to see that you're doing God's work.
Yes, sir.
So I thought about that as you were talking, and then also I think that you said a whole lot when you said it's a learned thing, because it is a learned thing. And so you can't even be at 35. I'm understanding now, Regina. You can't even learn until you begin to unlearn. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is serious. So, we started talking about slavery and dating this thing way back. The slave master could put his hands on whoever he wanted. He had jurisdiction over him. He had authority over him. And he also, we then took from that the way that we instruct and chastise is by whooping. And so it goes from whooping to domestic violence, because when you believe in your mind that you have been given authority over someone, then you can handle that situation as an authoritarian. And it's not, God never said that, but we've been this has been so entrenched us in the Bible, this misogyny and everything. You know, this is what was used to make us believe this. So you said a lot there. I really appreciate it.
It's funny that you mentioned our faith-based. I get myself in trouble a lot because I do address this. Fortunately, I'm in a congregation where our pastor, Pastor Fern Sept, she, with the overhead of our Pastor Billy Johnson, we address that openly, abuse. It's not right. There's many congregations across this country, across the world, that just won't address it. I get myself in trouble because when I speak to congregations, I call them out. Honestly, those are the toughest for me to even be invited to. You know, it's a fact. It's the toughest for me to be invited to because whatever mindset that they have, I'm not coming in to take over their church or take over the teachings of the church. I come to add to. Prayer changes things. I'm a true witness of that. Prayer does change faith. Faith without works. You mentioned that earlier. Faith without works is dead. We have to work towards these situations in our church congregations. There's no way that someone who's being abused should go to the pastor, and the only advice that the pastor has for them is to pray. We're going to pray about it. That's well and good. Don't get me wrong. But there has to be something in place in our congregations for the pastor who may not understand the abuse. You know, a good pastor recognizes that they need people under them with different talents. And that's a good pastor. And so he has someone or she has someone to send you to confidentially, send you to, not like they have to handle everything. They have someone in place that they can send you to, and that they're going to be professional, and they're going to teach you right from wrong, show you right from wrong, even have escape plans for you. It gets in church congregation, you know, we talk about staying in a relationship a lot. I don't want to see anybody divorced, but if you're getting beat every day, it's time for you to go. If you're getting verbally beat every day, you have to find some help. And if separation is going to take care of that, then that's what we have to do. So I feel you, sir, and that's something we're going to have to continue to pray about, talk about, and engage about. Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm good.
Well, you know, we love you and we support your efforts here. And so tell our audience again how they can get your book. If you're going to have some seminars where the men can plug in and come sit down and have that place of vulnerability with you, let them know that too.
Yeah, you're absolutely invited to. You can reach me on Al the Speaker on Instagram. Books available on Amazon, Create Space, the www.beawareofabuse.com where you can reach me, and my personal information is there for you can reach out to me at any time. I'm open for any seminars. Back into the school district, back into the school year, kind of slows me down on events, but I'm open to any event that I'm needed. So because we talked about passion earlier, and if you don't have passion, I mean, I do want to sell some copies of books, but the reason I want to sell the copies of books, I need to get these into our hands, our men and our women, our young, I let our young ladies read it because it shows them how to recognize abuse. Let's start at abuse. Let's not try to get to violence, and we'll try to correct there. So I'm passionate. I have 3 daughters, 3 lovely daughters, and my daughters learn from me. My daughters learn how they should be treated by the way I treat my wife. I heard Brother Willie called his wife earlier, and in a room full of men don't usually exit the phone or hang up the phone saying, baby, I love you. Yeah. And I'll see you soon. In front of a bunch of other men. He said, I love you. We down here. Right. Openly saying, I love you is to your wife or your significant other is something that we need to encourage and to recognize. So they see me, and I try to live it in my household and outside my household. Once we get outside our household and start living it, so the other young ladies who don't see it, we got honorable men in here. And the more they see us, the more they can recognize what it's really supposed to look like. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I got one more question, even though we don't have time for one more question, because you're in the school system.
Yes.
And when we're talking about our young people, these triggers, are you seeing them early? Are you seeing them as you're walking down the hallway?
Yes. My class is diagnosed as emotional behavioral disorder students. So I see it every day. If I tell people, if I don't get cursed out 3 times a day or threatened at least twice, then I'm not doing my job. Something's wrong with it.
Right.
But I'm the kind of person to put in that arena because I look past what I'm looking at. Some of them, even before I look in their records, I can see the abuse, years and years and years of abuse, not just from them, that their parents have. So the triggers we recognize, I recognize, and I show them the triggers immediately, and try to get them to make other choices from a young age. Choices, if they don't see them, if they're not aware of the choices, they're going to continue to make the choices that they're just used to. We have to always show them a better way. It might not feel all that good. Saying I'm sorry might not feel all that good.
It goes a long way, though.
Yeah. But it changes the atmosphere. So once you start changing the atmosphere, it's contagious. So yes, the triggers in the school district are needed. As a teacher, a lot of times as teachers get frustrated. We just want to get from one class to another. I say to that, either we step back, take a self-evaluation, and see if that's what we really need to do, or just give it to someone else to do.
I agree. I thank you for that. And we've had that conversation before on Dr. Marquita Blade's show about how some folks just need to get out the way. Yeah. Maybe teaching ain't for you.
Yeah,
you need
right.
to go do something else. Well, we're going to take a quick break. I want you to stand here. We're going to bring the other guys back.
Okay.
That went really fast, didn't it?
Definitely.
We'll bring the other guys back and close out the show together. You're live with Regina Sunshine and the Boss Men, Laris, Hodges, and Michael Supreme here on Instinct Radio.
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
Hello, it's your girl Regina Sunshine with the Living Like a Boss Men show, where we discuss business, occupation, service, and significance, giving our men a place to have a barbershop conversation with a purpose. Hello, it's your girl Regina Sunshine Robinson, coming here today to talk to you about my new book, Regina Sunshine State of Mind, 7 Keys to Help You Get Your Mind Right. If you've been looking for that tool to help you in getting a positive mental attitude and not only getting it, but maintaining it, this is the book for you. You can find it on my website, reginasunshine.com, or you can also find it at amazon.com.
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
All right, you guys, we're back live on the air with Regina Sunshine and the Boss Men here. And as always, it's an honor to be side by side, shoulder to shoulder with this man, Laris Hodges. And we're going to allow him on his his last show before he takes a break and comes back to the Boss Show to lead off this final few minutes.
Right. Well, again, thank you for allowing me to speak on this platform. I hate I missed the earlier segments, but I had a good gist of it from the conversation we had Friday. And one thing I can say, this is a very spiritual setting. We come in here on Living Like a Boss Men show on Mondays. I'm just so happy to be a part of it, and I feel enriched. It was, like I said, it was a pleasure to see you again, my brother. I believe I saw you about 2 months ago. Yeah. Was it 2 months ago?
Girls.
Right. And this is like you were saying before we cut off before. It is very important that we work hard. In fact, we got to work in overtime, triple time, to reform the image of black men in our community, because we've got so many different outlets, media outlets, that are throwing bad things in the faces of people who still want to oppress us, in the faces of our women, in the faces of our young men who don't have, those role models frequently around them enough to know what we really look like. So that's one of the beautiful things here. And so if we could do that, if we could just take time to reiterate what it is, it's not what. So I don't know what everybody does, right? But it should be your why. Everybody has a different what. But how are we using our what to impact our why? Brother, you can go right ahead.
Okay, so the what I do is connecting, right? Connecting people, and the why is to create generational change. And going deeper into it, it's like when we look at, I tell people all the time, when we look at the churches, when we look at the schools, and we look at the community organizations, there's division across the board. And how could you expect to move forward if you're divided, where your kids spend most of their time? And at school, right? They spend majority of the time at school, but there's division there. And then the parents say go to church when you're little, and they force you into church. But then you get to church and you realize, okay, if I'm Baptist, then Catholic's not cool. It's almost like Crips and Bloods and all this other stuff, but you're in the church. And so it's like what we have to do is we have to eliminate that division, and so through the connection of people and the power of unity, like I spoke about earlier, we'll be able to move forward, and we'll be able to create a solid foundation for generational change. Because my mother told me, and we all have mothers, and for those that have had full conversations with their mothers growing up, like mothers drop jewels, dads drop jewels, but as young people, a lot of times we don't listen. And so my mother told me when I was little, and I was really, really active at the beginning, just when I was really allowing God to use me and not knowing what I was doing, she was like, son, if you want to create change you're going to see in this lifetime, connect community organizations, churches, and schools. I was like, Mom, that's ridiculous. And then for me, what happened was I taught an acting class at the Tupac Shakur Center, and I saw the statue of Tupac in the garden, and it's the quote that was at the bottom of the statue said, I can't promise I will change the world, but I can promise something I do or say will spark the mind of somebody that will. And in that moment, I immediately started thinking about Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Mother Teresa, Joel Osteen, like all of these different people that's done great things. And it's like when Malcolm X and Martin Luther King moved and did what they did, they didn't have the connection of the full church, right? They didn't have the support of the full community. Like they had to do what they could do, what they could with what they had. But when we look at what we have right now, we could walk into any school and say this is how we want to run things. We could walk into any church and say this is what it's going to be. Same thing with community organizations. But that what is connections, and that why is for generational change through the power of unity.
Absolutely.
That's powerful. We talked about, brother was talking about competition earlier and how competitive he was, and how competition, it can be a tool of division. Mm-hmm. But if we compete against the team of right and wrong, the team of good and bad as a unified party, then we'll get a lot of things done. We stay too divided as men. Men, there's strength in numbers of men. Men make things move forward. So, the competitive part struck me a lot. What I try to show is the what for me is to show strength, to show compassion as a strong man. You know, you have to get that balance, because you can't show any weakness. Again, I have a tough educational career as far as the students that I have. But if you show any weakness, and that's coming off the game of falling where they are, falling what they're used to. You know, they're getting cussed out every day. Of course they're getting cussed out. They wouldn't know the words they call me.
Right,
if
right.
they didn't
Right.
get cursed out. But you can't break. You know that there's still someone in there that needs help.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to show strength. When you see a group of brothers, don't look down on the ground. Look away. Look up. Look them in the eyes, and allow them to see strength in your eyes. It's not competition. I'm not trying to compete against you, young man. I'm trying to show you strength from a man who's been where or understand somewhat where you are. We can't say we always understand, because there's some situations out there that we've never been through, but I'm here. And I'm here to help you, and I'm here to listen to you, and I'm strong enough to take what you can give me. So yes, strength is what I give.
Got it.
Yeah, I love the question. And for me, the why has become legacy. You know, I shared earlier, 40 plus now, my mortality has become a real thing to me. You know, I'm not young anymore, in a sense. I can't do certain things anymore. I was at the gym the other day on the basketball court. My mind's doing one thing, my body's doing something else. So just understanding that I want to leave a legacy that carries on after I'm gone. We got a lot of work to still do. And, my thing is to connect to as many people as possible that are moving forward. It's been a tremendous blessing to meet you. This brother right here, he's
Full of wisdom.
yeah. So, that's my thing is understanding the dynamics of legacy. What am I doing here and now that's going to carry on after I'm gone? Am I making the right connections? Am I planting the right seeds? Am I doing the right thing? And that's really been what my motivating why has been, here for the past couple of years, just making sure that I'm building a legacy that's going to carry on.
First of all, I want to thank God and my beautiful wife, Miss Teresa Mason, and Miss Regina, for letting me come on your show.
Thank you.
I'm listening to what all y'all saying about the youth, what us men need to start doing. Well, for Miss T's signature, that's what I'm doing now. I have a young gentleman, his name is Mr. Josh Freeman. He helps me out, and that the stuff that he said, he was like, I looked up to you. And I'm like, to myself, how can you look up to me? I'm out here trying to do what I do. And so we had a talk. He was telling me stuff. I'm like, wow, you know what I'm saying? He's like, I look up to you, and he tell all his friends, about me, the way I am. Because like I tell him, I was like, I want to be able for the, get all the young men, that been in trouble, the people that turn their backs on them, then just because they look at them as, okay, well, he a thug, or he want to say a dope, or, or he in the game. I don't look at him like that. And by him, being with me, and I'm being around him, he talks to me and tells me, I'm like, well, hey, that's what I want to do. Yes, I want to get your friends. I want them to help me, but I want to be financial wise. That's what I'm trying. That I can say, hey, hey, come on, you can come to work with me. Mm-hmm. I don't want to sit here and get fruit out. I want to be able to get them money. And like Mr. Josh, he like, Mr. Willie, just give me what else. No, I can't. Because I want to be able to pay you. Because I want to help you. That right there, from hearing from a young man saying, he looks up to me, that's amazing. And he asked me, I can use his phone number. He would tell you. He asked me, he said, Mr. Willie, can you help my friends out? Can you please get them a job? This is what he asked me. I was like, Josh, the only I can have right now is you. Because I'm not got the financial for the hire 6 or 7 of your friends. Well, he said, well, let's hire 2 or 3 of us. I said, well, let's wait, things get better, then I can hire everybody. And he sits and tell me, what his friends and stuff's going through and stuff, and that he want to help them change their life. And he asked me again about 2 months ago, could I go ahead and hire 2 of his friends? I said, I can't right now. I only can afford to pay you.
And Mr. Willie, I'm sorry. And what I want to say is probably the same thing he's going to say. Honestly, your presence is more valuable than any kind of money that you can give them. You having them around you, I mean, it's clearly is what he's saying, because you're not giving him what you want to give him now. To have those other boys around you would be paying them in ways that you just would not realize. I mean, and again, we can't measure on money. We can't measure our success on money.
Yes, sir.
We measure our success with, doing what God sent us to do. And you being a man of God, he's just giving you an opportunity that you ought to take a look at.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing, like 2 questions. One, do you believe in the Bible it says life or death is in the power of the tongue?
Yes.
Okay. In the physical world, they say, "As a man thinketh, so is he." Do you believe that?
Yes.
Okay. It's something that the team and I have called $1 Million Lingo, right?
Yes, sir.
And so weak language is something that we never use. We try our best not to use. And so when you were speaking, like you saying phenomenal things, but I'm cringing on the inside, because the only reason why the money isn't there to pay the boys is because you say you don't have it. The only reason why the money isn't there to be able to take care of the things you want to be able to take care of is because you're not speaking life to it. At the end of the day, if that little boy, God put a vision in that little boy from seeing you, that you're going to be able to take care of those other boys, and they're going to be able to learn the same things that they're learning from him. God put a different vision in you for the boys to be able to financially provide for them in their services that they're giving you through your mentorship. And so that vision, God is not going to give the vision without the ability to provide for it. And so what we have to do is speak that thing into existence. And it's so difficult because we grow up and we forget to be children. We forget that in the Bible it talks about having the enthusiasm of it, to think like a child, like having that childlike enthusiasm. And so it's like when we're kids, we don't worry about money. When we're kids, we don't worry about bills. When we're kids, we don't worry about anything except for when can I play again? Like, that's it. And it don't matter how old you are. That's what God created us to do. Play, enjoy, and live life, and put everything else on him. And so it's like with that situation, I'm telling you, because I'm going through that right now. I'm going through that faith walk where you have to just put things out there and just say, okay, God, this is what it is. Yeah. Like, you gonna do it, and I'm finna go have fun. If God put that in that little boy's heart for you to be able to connect with his friends, and he put it in your heart to be able to connect with young men, but he put it in your heart to be able to pay those young men that connect with you, you got to start speaking that thing like it already is, because it already is. It's not when I get it. It's not if I get it. It's like, I already have it. I'm just waiting for God for it to show up, for it to manifest so I can cash it. Like, God has already put that money in your pocket. Like, I had a girl I talked to this week, and we're sitting there having a conversation. She's new to the team, and she starts saying, like, I need $1,000 to pay my rent. I'm like, and she's stressing and complaining and thinking about $1,000 for rent and not wanting to get an eviction notice, her first apartment. I'm like, listen, man, that money isn't, that you already have that money. Like, you just have to start changing the way you think about it, because at the end of the day, I asked her 2 questions. I made 2 statements. I said, listen, like, a lot of people think that money is like paper, and they can get it from trees and stuff like that, because that's how they make paper out of wood. But money is cotton. So at the end of the day, like, if question, do you believe he who angers you controls you? She said, yes. I said, so truth be told, what you're doing right now is you're allowing a piece of cotton to control you. You're allowing a piece of cotton to control your whole entire life. This girl came to me yesterday when we did this Hurricane Harvey drive, before we kicked off, in tears, bawling, crying. Like, I just got to tell you what just happened. I said, what happened? And I was so excited. I'm smiling in her face, like laughing, because I knew she was going to tell me that she just got the money. She said, I don't know how it happened. I was supposed to get this refund check from school. It was supposed to be here 3-4 weeks later from now. But I just went to check my account. And I just said, I just want to check it to see how much gas I have to come down here to serve. And she said, all of the money from my refund check was there. I said, what did you do different? She said, I let go and let God. I let go and let God. And I just knew that he was going to do whatever he was going to do. And if I was supposed to be out of that apartment, guess what? there's something greater coming. But for you, like, what you doing with the sauce is amazing. And like you keep putting, you go into the kitchen and you pray before you start whipping.
Yes, I do. Honest.
You pray when you wake up at 2:00 in the morning. Like you doing that. So it's the same thing with these kids. Like if God put that mission on you, you have to know. In everything that you speak, you have to know that it's already done. And you're gonna be amazed how much your business grows to be able to provide for those boys. You're gonna be amazed at how much outreach you're able to do through bringing those boys in. Like my uncle told me, and I had to stop him. He said, bro, Jesus changed the world from 2 cities. I said, wait, after we got out the conference call, family call, I had to call him back. I said, how in the world was that possible? He got 12, they got 12, they got 12, they got 12. You bringing these boys in, mentoring these boys, and these boys are going to go out and mentor more, and they're going to go out and mentor more. So it's like from you being who you are right now, once you make that shift, once you switch that light switch on, and you really allow God to not just take over in this area, but in all areas, bro, it's a total shift, total transition.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I mean, cause it's like this. I mean, I know, teenagers. You know what I'm saying? They might want to have some, but like I said with the money part, I said I don't worry about it. Like I said earlier, I don't, cause God gonna provide it. But as far as me, young teenagers, I know they want to have this and have that. And like I told Josh, I call him Mister. He only, I think Josh was 22 or 23. And I was calling him Mister. Like I told him, yes, I want to do it. I wanted to be able to say, hey, you can bring some of your friends. Come on. But at the same time, I understand what you said. At the same time, I'm like, man, all these guys that want some money put in their pocket, can I tell them that's work with me? So like Josh, I tell him, I said, look, just stick with me. And I say, I gave him money or something. He was like, don't worry about it. Honest. Sometimes I go to pay him, he tell me don't worry about no money. I'm like, I need to pay you. He was like, no. He said, I'm learning from you.
You go back to what this brother said. Go back to what this brother said.
I give him here. He's like, I'm learning how to make the sauce. I'm learning how to cook. He's I'm learning all these things from you.
Learning how to be a man.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
More valuable than any money for these young men. I mean, there's no price that you can put to that. So, do you?
Right, I am. When I get my home, I'm sitting telling them, okay, I go ahead and hire them.
Done. That's awesome. Done deal. That's awesome.
That was
I'm excited on the back end of that play. Like the story from the back end of that play. That's gonna be amazing.
awesome. Any final words?
Yeah. Been another good day here as usual, and I can only say this, and I think that we all get it, but I'll tie it up in a bow and say it that so goes us, so goes the community. Know that for sure. And as a man, the most courageous thing you can be is yourself. Once you figure that out, everything else gets easier.
Well, Ned, I know we're way over time. I thank you guys. That was a real boss moment. That's what's supposed to happen here. It's supposed to be a space where men can truly connect and speak life into each other. And I've seen it happen over and over again. I thank you guys for being willing to love each other and to support each other and to speak life into each other. The last thing I'm going to share is the boss mandate. God gave this to me when I started Boss back whenever I didn't think I was supposed to do this. And this is what he gave me, and this is for our men. And it's directly from his heart to yours. It says, be strong and courageous, because you will lead these people to inherit the land I swore to their ancestors to give them. Be strong and very courageous. Be careful to obey all the law my servant Moses gave you. Do not turn from it to the right or to the left, that ye may be successful wherever you go. Keep this book of the law always on your lips. Meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. Then you will be prosperous and successful. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. And that's Joshua 1:6-9. And it goes hand in hand with what our brothers just said. I'm a true believer that when our men really take their rightful place and they understand that God is with them and they can show up in numbers and be a true brotherhood, then our community will be led to the place that we're supposed to be. And I, as one of the women who love you, and Abria and Ned, we got your back. We just need you guys to lead us, and we're going to take this thing back. All right. To our audience, we thank you so much for tuning in. We love you guys. To our boss guys, I tell you, remember this, you are a champion. You were born to win. You are more than a conqueror. You will achieve your dreams. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. You are magnificent, beautiful, amazing men, and you are worthy of the best things in life. You guys have a great day. And remember this, our boss motto. Our men need each other, but more than that, our community needs our men. You guys have a great day.
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
Here's Obama in me, the hood won't pop, hip-hop wanna see the common in me. And since it's a senseless contradiction, I end up a misfit trying to fit in. This ends when I stand up and see the hands of the standard. Holy is the Lamb, now we holding you to man up, cause we were made in his image. Start looking at what you came from. Right after Adam, every atom and non-atomies, atomic, adamant, after what added night is a kid. Let me take you back to the tree and Eve. Never read it, you see that Eve was deceived, but Adam is the one who let her in. Instead of leading, no, we ain't leading, we basically little boys with muscles that I must tell. The femininity, we need a remedy to God, man, 100% masculinity. We the last. Yeah, where the men at? Seems like they outlaws. None of them are on the scene, seems like they died off. They extinct, but my dream is the rise of we chasing the prize of the king, of the my boss. But we fell away, now we ungodly. We lose and we really got the blues like Navi. I wanna celebrate the news, it's beside me. Fellas, let's elevate, we do with the live. They like old heads, head boy, get your shine on. And if a sucker try to block you, get your nine home. And what I heard you gotta do to be a man now. Stand up for yourself, so I took it in my hands now. And that's the problem, man, we busy trying to solve it. All the while we walking dead, man, somebody bring the coffin. Boy, drop each fuzz, now you think that you a man. Cause you feeling yourself, you need to man up. Yeah, there's many things man is chasing after. They got some questions, we got some answers. Sex and models and tipping bottles, back a pile of excuses right next to your bottle caps. A Rolodex filled with names that you aim to please. Next to the stack of money, building up a heart of greed. Ice on his neck, giving jokers the cold shoulder. You drunk off pride, plus you loving the hangover. You got a whole lot of stuff that won't amount to gain. Life will never make sense because you never made sure. We got it twisted, sick like a fever. Little man live, stack dough, keep on. Man up, get up out of that treehouse, leave them cookies alone. It's time to eat meat now. Trying to show you a new way to live now. No charge, you call it a freestyle. Without Christ, you know what man is. You're born a man's body like Tom Hanks in bed. Yeah. Being a man got nothing to do with age. You could be a boy till the day you lay in your grave. None of us behave like the image of who we're made. Cause we fall in the way, it's better known as the brave. Running from responsibility, really we crave the easy way out of places that call